All right, so we will start on our mats, down on the mats, because we're going to start with Pilates type stuff this evening and then move from there to some sort of yoga. Haven't entirely decided what we're going to do. So bring yourself on down. As always, blocks are helpful, never required. There are moments I might say, if you have a block, you can use it here. I didn't actually grab mine today, but that's not to say that you won't find a use for them. So go ahead and come down and just do what you need to do for a moment. My back always feels like it needs to be released, so I always like to tuck into a little ball. Maybe you want to stretch out long. Maybe you want to do both. I think I'll do a nice big stretch. Whatever you have to do to kind of get yourself released and comfortable and feeling good on your mat. And then we're going to go ahead and bend our knees, placing your feet on the floor. So when you do this, you're going to have your feet fairly close to your body, and you want your feet parallel and about the distance of your hips, so not like way spread out, but the same stance as when you're standing. Knees and shins and thighs, everything parallel. So whenever we do Pilates, I want you to always think about your head positioning. What's not great is having your chin pointing up to the ceiling. That's going to put a lot of pressure on your neck in various positions. So instead, think about drawing your chin towards your chest. Imagine you have like a peach or a tomato between your chin and your chest. You want to hold it there. So if you lifted your head up, it would roll off. But equally, you don't want to smash it. The other thing I will say, you'll hear me say eyes to thighs, meaning if you're looking here, your head's in the right position. If your eyes are on the ceiling, your head is not in the right position, okay? All right, so from here, roll those shoulders down and back so your upper back is making contact with the mat. Pull your belly button in so that your lower back is making contact with the mat. And just allow your arms to come down by your sides for a moment. And if you want, you can close your eyes here. We're just going to take a few moments to focus on our breath. So just let it go for a moment without controlling your breath. Just go ahead and breathe. Feel the breath in your body. Feel your body on the mat. And just bring your awareness to both your breath and to your body, as well as to your state of mind, your state of emotion. And notice if you're naturally inhaling and exhaling through your nose, or if you're mouth breathing at all. Just notice what your body's natural inclination is to do. So as we move through the practice, when we do Pilates type movement, I'll cue you to breathe through your mouth. That is your option. It just intensifies the Pilates exercise. It creates greater toning of your abdominal muscles. But as always, if you're more comfortable breathing through your nose, that's okay. As long as you're breathing. So with that being said, let's start taking some nice deep breaths, inhaling through the nose, long exhale through the mouth. Again, through the nose if you prefer. Inhaling, exhaling. And we're going to start to add some breath to this. So keep that same long inhale, long exhale. I mean some movement to it. And as you inhale, I want you to lift your hips, lift your pelvis, and then peel your back off the mat, one vertebra at a time. And then as you exhale, press your vertebra back down onto the mat, one at a time. Low back, pelvis, and hips. Inhaling on the way up. Exhaling on the way down. And adding onto this, adding the arms, inhaling as you lift up, stretching the arms overhead, unless that bothers your shoulders. Exhaling on the way down. Let's just do one more full inhale and full exhale. And when you release down, just go ahead and let everything release down onto the mat. If they're not already, you can open your eyes. So we're going to move on to the hundreds. So with the hundreds, your leg position options are option 1, knees are bent, feet are on the mat. Option 2 is going to be legs and tabletop. Option 3 is legs extended, and then you lower those legs down, down, down to make it more challenging. You always know if you've gone too far when your back starts to arch. You want to keep that back pressed into the mat, belly button tight. So extend your arms straight up from your shoulders. Take an inhale. Exhale, lift head and shoulders. Hands shoot towards the toes. Pick your leg position, whatever one you want to do. And begin to pump your arms as you inhale for a 5 count and exhale through your mouth for a 5 count. Inhale. Exhale. So you're pumping your arms quite strongly. That movement wants to destabilize your body, and you're using your core to keep yourself really still. Your head isn't moving, your shoulders aren't moving, your hips aren't moving. And whatever leg position you're doing, if you want to challenge yourself to the next level, go for it. If it's too hard and you need to bring it back, you can do that too. Inhaling for a 5 count, exhaling for a 5 count. Let's do one more complete round. Finish on your exhale. And when you've done that, go ahead and release down. And hug your knees into your chest and give yourself a little rock from side to side. Warming up our low spine, but also continuing to work our abs. Bring your legs to tabletop so your knees are over hips. And then notice, if you pull your knees into your body, your back presses onto the mat. It gets easier on your abs. If you push your knees away from your body, it gets harder. So find the point that you're challenging yourself, but you're still in control. Move your arms out of the way. They can be extended or they can be cactus, it doesn't matter. And we're gonna release and drop the knees down to one side. Maybe they touch the floor, maybe they don't. And then lift them up through center and over to the other side. So it's an exhale as you go down. Use the inhale to lift them through center and then exhale to the other side. And if you want, you can be turning your head from side to side. So when your legs go one direction, your head goes the opposite. Use the inhale to lift up with control. Exhale to release down. If it's too much, if this is hurting your back and not working for you, lift the top leg first, and then the bottom leg will follow, and that makes it a bit easier on your low back. So that's going to be your modification. Full version, legs are going to go together. As always, we want to try to finish on the opposite side from where we started. So go ahead and finish your round, ending on your last side. And then bringing those legs up to center and hugging your knees into your chest and giving yourself a little rock. Bring yourself up to a seated position. So we always do a series of rolling exercises with when we do the Pilates. And this is the first, okay? So each time we roll, it's gonna get progressively more difficult, but you can always stay at this easier version of rolling like a ball. If it bothers your back, if your floor is too hard, if you have a more bony spine, if you have osteoporosis, you wanna avoid this, and you can just balance here. So we lift the feet off the mat, holding onto ankles or shins. Make sure the spine is really tall and long, shoulders are down and back. The key here is to go from long, straight spine to rounded spine. So the chin tucks to the chest, the belly button pulls back, the hips tuck under, and we tuck into a little ball to roll down to shoulders, and then back up, trying to balance without touching the feet down. Inhale, exhale to roll down. Inhale, exhale to roll up. If you feel like you're smacking when you hit the mat, then that's just because you're not tucked into a ball. So try to tuck yourself more into a ball. If you're struggling with this but want to keep working on it, when we go to the next one, make sure you stay working on this one, okay? All right, after you've done one more, go ahead and come up to sit. Extend your legs out in front of you. Legs are separated just a little bit, less than mat's distance, like a really narrow pizza slice for spine stretch forward. So the key here is to sit up nice and tall, and then just like before, we're going to go from long extended spine to rounded spine. The arms extend straight out from the shoulders, feet are flexed. Inhale, on the exhale, we reach forward, pulling the belly button back. So it's a rounded spine. The hands aren't going to touch the floor, they stay lifted. The head drops between the arms, and we're going to stretch forward, exhale, exhale, exhale. So it's not a bounce up and down, but forward, forward, forward. Inhale, come up to sit. Here we go. Exhale. Inhale to sit. Exhale, 3 stretches. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Inhale. Inhale. Different from yoga where we keep an extended spine. Exhale, exhale, exhale. In Pilates, we work in a rounded spine often. Inhale, last time. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Inhale, bring those feet together. This time, extended Paschimottanasana, yoga style stretch forward. So inhale to extend up. Exhale, lift, hinge forward with a long extended spine this time. Gazing forward, gazing forward, gazing forward. Release the arms down. See if you can grow tall and long. So you have a long spine rather than a rounded spine. And see if you can feel the difference in this, in the different parts of your back compared to your rounded spine. Good, and then inhale to come up to sit. All right, we're gonna come onto our back and do the leg stretch series. So hold on to the backs of your thighs, roll yourself down onto the mat. So as with everything else, anytime the back arches, the way you adjust is move your leg. So if your leg is lower to the mat, you're gonna bring it up higher to make it slightly easier on yourself. Single leg stretch, right leg comes in, holding onto the right ankle with the right hand. Left hand goes below, not on the right knee. Left leg extends, straight up is easier, lower down is harder. Elbows are wide, lift the head and shoulders, chin towards chest. Inhale, really hug that right leg in. Exhale, switch, pulse and pull that left leg in. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, right hand, right ankle. Exhale, left hand, left ankle. Eyes to thighs. Chin to chest, belly button pulling in. Inhale. So this is abdominal, but this is also working your lower, stretching your low back, I should say. Also helping you stretch out your hamstrings. So that in and out of your legs isn't just about the abs, it's about the legs and the back as well. 3, 2, last one, finish left, and then draw the right leg in to meet it so you're in a tiny little ball. Exhale all the air. Inhale, arms up, legs up. Chin to chest. Exhale, release everything in. Arms up, legs up. To challenge yourself, you can lower those legs down further. Exhale, tuck into a little ball. Head and shoulders aren't moving. Torso isn't moving, only arms and legs. Inhale, extend. Exhale, wrap it in. And 3, and 2, make sure that low back is not arched. The last one. And release. I'll give you a break before we do our single straight leg stretch. With single straight leg stretch, you're getting a really great hamstring stretch, so try to keep your leg as straight as possible, even if it means less movement and the legs are higher. That's totally fine. So extend the right leg straight up. Grab hold behind the thigh, the calf, or the ankle, just not the knee. Lift the left leg in front of it like scissors. Lift the head and shoulders. Chin to chest, elbows wide. Lower that left leg as low as you want while still keeping control up top. And then switch, left leg comes in. Inhale, right leg. Exhale, left leg. So if your legs are bent, maybe work with a smaller movement and see if you can keep the legs straight. Because you really get a really nice hamstring stretch if you can keep those legs straight. Inhale and exhale. Nothing moving except the legs. If you notice, my hands and arms aren't really even moving. My legs are just going up and catching. 3 and 2. Last one. Finish on your left. Bring the right leg up to meet it. Hands behind the head, elbows are wide, flex your feet. Both legs lower down, inhale. Both legs come up, exhale. If it's too much, the head goes on the mat and you sit on top of your hands. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, bring the legs back up. Notice my glutes and hips are not lifting off the mat. You just bring your legs to vertical without coming up and over. Inhale, lower down. Exhale. Eyes to thighs. Chin to chest. and 3. Keeping the elbows wide, and 2. Last 1. Bend the knees. If your hands are not behind your head, go ahead and bring them there. Interlace your fingers. Keep the elbows super, super wide here. Legs to tabletop. Knees over hips for crisscross. Inhale to lift. Exhale to twist. You're trying to bring the back elbow to the mat, the front knee to the front shoulder. Back to center. Exhale, other side. Inhale, pause at center. Be careful not to tug on your head. Keep those elbows wide. That will really help you with that. 3, 2, last 1, and release that down. Hug your knees into your chest. Place your feet on the floor, place your hands on the floor. Inhale, tilt up to shoulder bridge and hold it for a moment. So keep the knees parallel. Sometimes I like to flop out, sometimes I like to collapse in. Keep them parallel. If you want to deepen this, bring your hands under your body, clasping your hands together and press up a little bit higher onto your shoulders. Take a deep breath into your abs, stretching them out. And then release your hands and slowly lower back down. Rock yourself up to sit. Second time we're gonna roll. So remember, your option is to work in rolling like a ball. Keep working on that if that's what's best for you. If you liked that and you want to try the next one, you bring your legs to tabletop. Hands come to calves or to ankles, shoulders are down and back, chest is lifted, spine is long. It's just like rolling like a ball. We tuck the chin to chest, pull the belly button back, roll back onto our shoulder blades, and back up to balance. Notice my legs aren't moving all around, right? They're like rockers on a rocking chair, down and up. If it's too much, stay tucked in a ball and work on rolling like a ball. This is the next stage after you've mastered rolling like a ball. Do you hear that part? After you've mastered rolling like a ball. Sometimes I have to repeat myself.
But no, but sometimes stuff easier.
Mm-hmm. Couple more times. And then come up and balance. If you were working rolling like a ball, this is a good moment to see if you can balance here in tabletop. That's a nice thing to try. Those of you in tabletop, in preparation for open leg rocker later if you want, just see if you can extend one leg and extend the other leg. And then extend both legs. If you can do this comfortably, then when we get to rolling in open leg rocker, you can do that. Go ahead and close the legs, place them down. All right, so we're gonna do spinal roll up. So the spinal roll up combines that rolling like a ball because you're gonna be rolling back and the spine stretch forward. It's a combination of the two. So hold on to the backs of your thighs, roll yourself down. This is as slowly as you can go down. So remember what this feels like because this is what you're gonna try to do as you roll down without your hands. But you can always use your hands to modify. I'm gonna do the modified version for the first two, and then I'm going to do the full version, and you decide what one is best for you. So belly button in, arms extend straight up. For those of you for whom this is hard, go ahead and roll quickly. If this is easier for you, challenge yourself to roll up slowly. I'm going to roll up quickly on these modified ones. Inhale. Use the exhale to roll up fast. It's easier to roll up fast. Inhale, extend the legs. Exhale, spine stretch forward. Inhale, bend the knees, sit up tall. Exhale, pull that belly button in and roll back as slowly as you can. Inhale, exhale to roll up. Inhale to extend the legs. Exhale to spine stretch forward. Inhale to sit up tall, bend the knees. Exhale to roll back. So I will keep cueing that version, but I will do the more advanced version. So knees are bent in the modification. Inhale, exhale to roll up. Extend the knees, inhale. Exhale, spine stretch forward. Inhale, bend the knees, sit up tall. Exhale, slowly roll back. all the way down. I'm gonna count it next time. Inhale, exhale to roll up. Straighten the knees. Inhale, exhale to stretch forward. Bend the knees. Inhale, exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, halfway, 3, 2, 1, and down. Inhale, exhale, roll up. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, stretch forward. Inhale, bend the knees, sit up tall. Exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last one, inhale, exhale, roll up. Straighten the legs, inhale, exhale, stretch forward. Sit up tall, inhale, exhale, pull back. All the way down to the mat. Excellent, hug your knees into your chest. One more little rock from side to side. And then rock yourself up to sit. Coming over onto hands and knees. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. So warming up the back again with cow-cat. So as always, beginning with the base of the spine. As we inhale, the pelvis presses down, ribs press down, chest lifts, shoulders pull back, gaze comes forward. Exhale, pull the tailbone under, arch up through the middle back, the upper back, press into the hands, looking at the belly button. Couple more times, inhaling and exhaling. Working through each part of your spine. After your last one, go ahead and really arch up into that cat. Press the mat away with your hands. Try to bring your nose all the way down, pushing up, 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 up. And then from here, curl the toes under and push up to downward facing dog. Jogging through, bending one knee, bending the other knee, stretching the opposite heel towards the mat. Stretching the hamstrings again. And then work to press both heels towards the mat. Even if they don't make it, that's fine. But we just don't want you lifting up. So go ahead and drive those heels towards the mat. Roll the shoulders down and away from the ears, pressing into the hands. And we're going to transition between here and plank. So when you're inhale, you're going to come out into plank. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, down dog. Couple more times. Inhaling and exhaling. Last time, inhale, exhale, down dog. And now inhale, we're gonna hold plank. So 30 seconds, and then after 30 seconds, we're gonna slowly lower down all the way to the mat. Use that exhale here. As you exhale, your abdominal muscles will contract. 10 more seconds. Don't let the hips drop. Keep the hips lifted. Keep the head, shoulders, hips, and heels all in one straight line. 3, 2, and 1. Lowering all the way down into the mat. Good. Hands stay right where they are, right under the shoulders. Elbows are back. And we're going to do some work on our low back. So hands hovering above the mat. No weight in your hands. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the legs together. As you inhale, lift the head and chest and shoulders off the mat. As you exhale, release. Inhale to lift. Exhale to release. If you'd like to deepen this, inhale to lift. When you can't lift anymore, press into your hands to come up higher into a cobra. Exhale, release down. Lift your hands to release all the way back. So it's an inhale, lift, and press. Exhale, lower, release the hands. Inhale, lift, and press. Exhale, lower, release the hands. See my elbows hugging the side of my body the whole time. Shoulders are back the whole time. Let's do one more. And then push that up and back, keeping your knees together and your toes together. Sitting back into child's pose, releasing head to the mat to release that spine. Inhaling and exhaling. Good, rising up, curling the toes under again, pushing up and back, downward facing dog. Driving those heels into the mat, rolling shoulders away from the ears. Extend the right leg high overhead, three-legged down dog. Swing it all the way forward, planting it down, rising up to high lunge. Hands can come to heart center, or they can extend up. So heel is lifted, we're pushing back through that back leg. Good, opening the chest towards the sky. Excellent, bring the hands behind the back, squeezing them together, interlacing the fingers, squeezing together, open the chest towards the sky. So we're going to fold forward like we're doing humble warrior, but our foot is not in a warrior position. We're going to bend forward, releasing those arms overhead to stretch through the shoulders. And then releasing the hands, bring the hands down to the mat so they're squaring off that foot. Stepping the right foot back, come into plank position. Inhale, exhale. Let's do 3 tricep push-ups here. So our hands are under our shoulders. You can always drop down to knees. Keep the elbows right by the ribs. So we lower down, elbows hug the ribs. Exhale, press up. That's why we're only doing 3 because they're particularly hard. Inhale, exhale, press up. Inhale, exhale, press up. This time lower all the way down. Inhale up to cobra. Curl the toes under, exhale back, downward facing dog. Left leg extends high overhead. Swing that left foot forward, planting it down, rising up into your lunge. Hands at heart center or arms extend. Nice deep bend in the knees, pushing back through that heel. You can get a nice deep bend here because the hips are facing forward. And then go ahead and bring the hands behind the back, pulling them together, opening the chest towards the sky. And then folding over, releasing the arms overhead. And then release the hands into the mat, long lunge. Step the left foot back to plank position. 3 more push-ups, lowering down, inhale. Exhale, press up. If your hips are dropping, do this from knees. Much better, especially because these are particularly hard. And then lowering all the way down. Inhale up to cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Particularly hard, but super good for your triceps. I'm looking for those nice toned triceps, and chaturangas and tricep push-ups like that will really help. We're going to do one more tricep exercise today we haven't done recently. Go ahead and walk your feet forward, coming to the top of your mat. Letting yourself hang over for a moment here. Shaking it out. Release any tension in your back. Make sure you can shake your head no. And then bend your knees coming up into chair. So sitting back in your heels, hands at heart center. So what's super important in chair is that you push those knees back so that you're over your ankles. As soon as you come down here, you're going to be really killing those knees, and we don't want that. Push the hips back, knees back, chest stays lifted, belly button in. So your core is fired on here, your glutes are working, the thighs are working. Gaze is forward, chest is lifted, chin to chest. Make sure you're not holding tension up here. So we're going to do that breath of fire that we do sometimes. We're going to stand up, and on an exhale, we're going to come to standing. Fists are going to come down to our side. On the inhale, we're going to come right back to this position. So see if you can feel this in your body so you can find it again. Ready? Inhale, exhale. That's 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, down into chair, extending the arms. Push the hips back, knees over ankles, and forward fold. Inhale, flat back lift. Exhale, release, hands find the mat. Stepping the right foot back, releasing that knee down into the mat. Inhale as you open up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step the left foot back, lowering all the way down and then coming up to cobra or hovering in chaturanga up to upward facing dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Extend the right leg, bend that knee, drop the right foot towards the left side, stepping right hip on top of left, lifting through the right knee for a moment. Take a couple breaths. Bring that leg back to center, swing it forward, plant it down, warrior one. So pivoting the back foot, rising up, hands beginning at heart center, and then extending all the way up. Chest is forward, gaze is lifted, hips is forward, bending the front knee, but without tracking out over the toes, pressing through the back heel, or back pinky toe, I should say. And then open that out, warrior two. Looking out over those front hands, squeezing the shoulder blades together, staying nice and lifted. Nice deep bend in the knee here. So you can go further, just make sure you separate your legs to give yourself space so you're not coming out over those toes. Pivoting to your power lunge, so we're hinging forward, arms extending, really deep bend in the front leg, pushing through the back heel, and let's do a few pulses here. Lifting up towards the ceiling, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, launching up into your warrior three, pushing back through that back heel. So your top of your head is forward, you're looking at the mat, and you're extending that back leg strong behind you. That's what's going to help keep you balanced. Inhale and exhale, engaging the core here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to chair, sitting low. And we're going to do 10 more breaths of fire. Inhale, exhale, stand. Inhale. 5 more. And 2. Last one. Sitting down. Option here to come up on the balls of your feet. Sitting low. Belly button in. And forward fold. Inhale, flat back lift. Exhale, release, hands to the mat. Step the left foot back. Release that knee onto the mat, extending up. Exhale, hands find the mat. Step the right foot back all the way, or chaturanga, cobra, or upward facing dog. Back to downward facing dog. Left leg extends, bend that knee, dropping it to the right side, lifting through the left knee to stack left hip on top of right. And then swinging that leg all the way forward, planting it down, pivoting the back foot to rise up to warrior one. Forward, arms extending, gaze in front of you. So as deep a bend as you can in your front leg without opening those hips out. Keep the hips facing forward. Transitioning, Virabhadrasana 2. Arms drop down, shoulder blades pull together, deeper bend in the front knee. Gazing out over the front hand. Like I'm pulling you forward and pulling you back so you're right in the center. Deep inhale, exhale. Pivoting, power lunge, lifting that right heel up, arms shoot back behind you. Pulsing those arms up towards the ceiling. With just a little movement, back leg is nice and straight, shooting that heel away, chest is lifted, gaze is in front of you. You're still focusing on that focal point in front of you, not the floor. Pause that. When you're ready, launch up onto that front foot. I just think I need to move back a little bit. Pushing that back heel away. Belly button pulling in, long spine. So the crown of your head is facing forward, nose is towards the floor, belly button towards the floor, toes towards the floor. Trying to keep the hips parallel, square. And 5, 4, 3, 2. Back to our chair, hands at heart center. So we're going to twist in our chair. People love to bind in this twist. That's fine, but you've got to get super, super low in order to bind. Otherwise, just don't do the bind. The twist is what's important. So sit super, super low as you possibly can. I'm going to turn first towards my left side. So the right elbow comes to the right thigh, hands stay at heart center, and I look, opening this chest towards that left side. Those of you who want to bind, that elbow is going to drop down the thigh towards the calf. But the twist is what's most important. Notice if your knees have shifted. Usually if you went left, your right knee is going to pull forward. See if you can pull it back. And if your arms are up here in your armpits, see if you can lift to bring them down to the heart center. Come back to center. Knees come back. Chest stays lifted. Drop as low as you can. Other side. So remember, the elbow goes to the thigh. That's what's going to help you twist. For most of you, this is enough. If you're super low and your elbow starts to slide down, then you can twist more. But if your knee shoots way out, pull it back. Try to keep the hands at heart center. Try to stack the right shoulder on the left. Inhale, exhale. Coming back to center, forward fold. Bend your knees enough so you can slide your hands underneath your feet. Knees bent. And then extend your legs only as much as you can, working on stretching the hamstrings. If your legs are all the way straight, go ahead and pull against your feet. If your knees are still bent, push against your hand, trying to create a deeper stretch in those hamstrings. And then release that. Bring the hands down to the mat, step one foot back onto the knee, other foot back, sit back on your heels, child's pose. Coming up onto your forearms for a 30-second forearm plank. And then we're going to do some stuff on our side. So we're going to go from a forearm plank to a side plank, and then we're going to release down from the side plank and do a couple things on our side. So when you are ready, popping up into your plank, 30 seconds. Belly button pulling in, long line, shoulders, hips, heels. Inhale, exhale. Total body workout here with your planks. Super, super good. Do a plank every day. Do it for me. 5, 4, 3, 2. Transition to either side. I'm going to go into my right arm. You decide. So if it's too much, drop down into your right heel, or your right knee rather. Otherwise, you can stay lifted. We're going to do 30 seconds here. If you want, you can extend the top arm. 10 more seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release it down. Okay, so we're gonna do a tricep push-up here. So stack your knees, one on top of the other. Wrap your bottom arm under you as you come down onto the mat, and your top hand comes onto the mat just out from your shoulder. From here, we're gonna push up. I'm gonna try 10 of them. If it proves to be too much, do what you can. That was 1. Press up. 9. Feet stay glued to the mat. I know they do bounce up. Mine bounce up too, but the idea is to keep them glued to the mat. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That move is the best thing I have found for this really stubborn flesh up here, kind of at the top of the arm that isn't like your real tricep. It's like part of your tricep. I don't exactly know what it is. All I know is nothing seems to hit it except those, and they definitely hit it. So if you're like, oh my gosh, that was really hard, that's why. All right, we're gonna come back to our plank. So rolling back over onto your forearm plank. This time, I want you to lift your right foot, so just a couple inches. This isn't a giant kick up in the air. Just lift your toes off the mat. And then release that and lift your left foot off the mat. Just keep those hips low. I see you. Look at your hands, hips lower. There you go. 3, 2, 1, transition to your side plank. So I'm going on my left arm, my left foot. Option is always to extend that arm up, not required. Halfway there. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Same thing on this side, so we're stacking our knees, wrapping that bottom arm, hand coming out from the shoulders. Use that exhale to push up. Do as many of these 10 as you can. If it's only 3, do 3. Inhale. Exhale to push up for 10. 9. Trying to keep the feet down. You can see with mine, I love to bounce up. 5, 4. I like to grab my arm here and see. You can actually feel that muscle tightening and see exactly what you're working. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Spin back around. It's a killer, right? But yeah, when you're actually doing it, reach back and you can feel that muscle tighten. And then when that muscle is soft, feel it, and you're like, that's what I was working. It's like really specific and small, but you're gonna thank me. Okay, let us do our final rolling. So remember, your options are rolling like a ball, rolling a tabletop. If before you were able to extend those legs to here, then you can do open leg rocker. Open leg rocker, because your legs are heavy, they tend to want to go all the way back to the mat and you end up rolling onto your head. So I would advise you either just sit here and balance, work in tabletop or rolling like a ball, unless you want to try this. Belly button pulls in, we tuck back, go just to our shoulder blades, roll up and balance. If you have the flexibility, the full version of this is to hold onto your toes, but inevitably my feet cramp when I do this. So I don't tend to do it. I don't know why my feet cramp when I do that. So do a couple of those if you wish. And then come up and balance wherever you are. And then see if you can let go wherever you are. Release your arms. Even if you're in tabletop. I'm like at the wall here. I'm gonna cactus arm myself. Good, place the feet on the mat and give yourself a hug. Inhale, exhale. Good. We're all set up to do reverse plank. So we're going to do tabletop, and we're going to transition that into reverse plank if you want to do reverse plank. So hands come under the shoulders, fingertips pointing towards the feet, starting in tabletop. So we're going to push up. So the way to know that you can do full plank is you lift those hips up. Knees are not flailing open, they're staying nice and parallel. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Belly is in. Chin towards chest. Staying here, unless you're like, this is easy, I want to make this harder. In that case, extend the legs. But make sure you keep your hips up and your shoulders back. If you look like this, I don't want to see that. Luckily, I can't see it, but you can see it. And then if you're here and like, wow, this is just so easy, I want something even harder, lift a leg up.
Who said that?
And lift the other leg up. And if you want to work your triceps some more, you could do some tricep dips from here.
I prefer this.
That's because you're dropping your hips. You just made it much easier on yourself. Push those hips up. And then release this. Inhale, big extension up. Exhale, releasing forward. And just let it go. Go ahead and roll back up. I'm just going to turn to face you, opening up your feet a little bit, lifting up nice and tall. We're going to laterally bend. So big inhale to lift up, shoulders pull down away from the ears, let one arm drop down to the side, and we're just going to bend to the other side. So that arm can slide out. Maybe you come down towards your forearm. What we don't want to do is lock it, right? Because that's going to keep you from bending, and it's going to pop your shoulder up by your ear. You want to bend as much as you can. And back up to center. Inhale, exhale to the other side. Separate your feet, it makes it easier. Good, back up to center. Opening the legs, we're going to do the same thing. With our legs separated, toes towards the ceiling, knees towards the ceiling. Same idea, I like to bring the opposite arm across the body when I do this. So I'm going to bring this arm across, lift up and over, and bend to the side. If that doesn't work for you and you want to have that arm on the mat, that's fine. Or on your leg. You just want it out of the way. So you keep the chest open, shoulders stacked, and those of you who have some more flexibility, you can bend as deep as you want into this. And pressing yourself up, over to the other side. Growing tall, and releasing over. And then just try out different hand positions and see what's comfortable. Maybe hold your foot.
Nothing is comfortable.
Ankle, nothing's comfortable. Nothing's comfortable. Great, perfect. And lifting up. From here, we're going to hinge forward. So lift up and grow tall. And hinge forward. Releasing into that, doing what feels good or better. Broken. Someone's broken. And bring yourself up. Okay, I have left time for an inversion. Amazing. So come on onto your backs. So you have options here. If you did grab a block, you can do the modified shoulder bridge and put a block under you. That's one option. You could also come, if you have a wall handy, let me not knock over my water. If you have a wall handy, you can come up and you could do legs up a wall. So those are going to be your more modified versions, or a block here and legs straight up, okay? So those are modified options. Bridge, legs up a wall, legs up the block. If you want something more intense, you could of course do a headstand, but you could also work in plow, halasana. Supported or unsupported, so hands here is unsupported, hands on the back is supported. And if you want, you can work in shoulder stand. Getting those shoulders really under you, trying to get really vertical. You shouldn't be feeling pain in your neck, but if you have any neck issues that contraindicate this for you, please don't do it. And then of course, if you wanted to, you can do all sorts of fun things here. You can work from shoulder stand down into plow and back up and get some nice abdominal, it's like gravity crunches, I like to think of these as. Someone doesn't love the gravity crunches. You can also work with one leg down to the mat and the other leg up extended. This gives you a nice stretch. If you do one side, of course you need to do the other side. Any of you who have your legs lifted, whether in shoulder stand, headstand, legs up a wall, if you want, you can drop those legs open and get a nice inner thigh stretch. So my point is, there's lots of options, but all of them have you inverted. Heart above the head, in some cases feet above the heart. Really good for the circulation. One of my yoga books said that it brings the blood to the face and it plumps the blood vessels and it reduces the appearance of wrinkles. So that's pretty much enough for me.
Is it good for hair?
Yes, I think it also grows your hair. It does reduce varicose veins as well. That I see immediately. I see my, like the ankles and knees and stuff immediately get better. So if you are up in shoulder stand, if you're in headstand, go ahead and come all the way down and go to child's pose. If you're in shoulder stand, go ahead and lower down into plow, releasing those legs behind you. And then roll yourself down. If you've got yourself up on a block or you're up on a wall, go ahead and come back, release all the way down. And everybody hug your knees into your chest and give yourself a little rock from side to side. And then counter pose is fish. So bringing your hands under your body, reaching your fingertips towards your heels, roll those shoulders down and away. So you can just work from here if you want. So the chest is open, chin towards chest, but you're not up on your forearms. To take this to the full version, you come up on the forearms and the head pops down to the mat. Make sure your head is on the mat or on a block. Don't let your head be hanging in the air. That is not good for your neck. And just take a couple of breaths wherever you are. And then release that all the way down. And one more time, hug your knees into your chest. Bring your right shin in, push your left leg away. Extend the right leg as much as you can. Option to bend that left knee if you need to give yourself a hamstring stretch. Hugging that knee back into your chest, twisting to the left so the right knee goes down to the mat. Looking over the right shoulder, pressing the right shoulder into the mat. If this is too intense, bend your left knee and just stack your knees. It's a deeper stretch with that leg extended, so if that's too hard, go ahead and adjust. We all have different mobility of our spine. And rolling back to center, switching sides, so hug the left knee into the body, push the right leg away. Relaxing down on the mat. Extending the left leg, go ahead and bend the right knee if you need to, otherwise extend the left leg to catch it and stretch here. You don't want to create tension in your neck and shoulders, so it's much better to go ahead and bend that right knee and give yourself a stretch that way. And then hug that left knee into the chest, bring it across the body to the opposite side, bending the bottom knee if you need to, extending the arms and looking over the left shoulder. Breathing into the twist. And bringing yourself back to center. One last time, hugging both knees into the chest, rocking side to side. Transitioning this to happy baby, reaching in between the arms, the legs rather, grabbing hold of the feet or the ankles. Continuing to rock if that feels good. And then extending those legs away, turning the palms face up, coming to your final relaxation. So palms are up, arms away from the body, chin still releasing gently towards the chest, legs separated. Feet relaxed, closing the eyes, and then just allow your breath to be natural. Allow your mind to follow the breath, watching it come in and come out. And then begin to allow that breath to deepen again. Inhaling to recharge all of your muscles, your joints, your bones, your organs. Breathing all the way down your arms and legs. Beginning to wiggle fingers and toes. Rolling wrists and ankles. Rolling your head from side to side. And then drawing your knees in towards your chest. Rolling over onto one side, resting on your bottom arm. Pausing there, taking a deep inhale and a long exhale. Releasing your back. And then pressing yourself up, finding a seated position. Legs crossed in front of you. Sitting tall, arms relaxing in the lap. Taking a few steady breaths. Noticing the air around you, noticing any ambient noise. Tuning into your environment. Take a deep inhale to extend the arms up overhead. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. The hands here, just take a deep inhale. Open your mouth and let it go. One more time. Om Shanti Om. I wish you peace. Namaste.